want to talk to you about something that affects us all. Alzheimer's disease is now part of the zeitgeist. It's everywhere. You can't turn on the TV, you can't turn on the radio without hearing about it. This is something that everybody's got different ideas. As you know, end of September was Alzheimer's Awareness Week, and Maria Shriver told us all that there's no prevention, there's no cure, there's nothing that we can essentially do about this right now. So obviously, our goal, collective goal, is all the same. We want to develop something where we can prevent the disease, where we can manage the disease, where we can improve the disease, and ultimately where we can cure this illness. So here are just some of the recent failures, and actually IVIG is an additional one you can add to all these. These there are all recent trial failures. So there's something fundamentally wrong. We may need to back up and ask, do we understand this disease? Is there something missing here? So let me just ask you for 20 minutes to forget everything that you know about Alzheimer's disease. And I recognize we have some of the world experts here on Alzheimer's disease, so that's a big request. But just for a few minutes, let me suggest a different way to look at this disease. And we've been interested in, as Bruce said, the fundamental nature. What are the underlying mechanisms that drive neurodegeneration? How does this all work? So here's the big problem. When I worked for Stan Prisner before he won the Nobel Prize, the idea was, okay, you get prions in your brain, and he discovered and dubbed it and coined the term prion. But the question was, why is it that when you get prions in your brain degenerates? That hasn't been so clear. And to this day, it's not clear why, when you get prions in your brain degenerates. So when I came to UCLA, the original idea was to ask, what is it that causes the degeneration? What are the critical genes? What are the critical protein products? And how do they work? What are they actually doing? And how does this relate to normalcy? And we submitted a couple years ago the first comprehensive trial for early MCI, which has all these different pieces. And this was turned down by the IRB. They said it's too radical. They said it's too many things to do, and we want you to come back with just one drug. So we submitted EPO3, and EPO3 has been approved, and it will now start trials. But I'm not going to suggest that's a cure for this illness. The idea is we're at a point where virtual tours of apartments were 15 years ago. You see a couple of rooms, and they're very pixelated. The good news is we have the beginning of something for all the 36 holes. There are probably more, but we can do better with each one of these. That's why we want things like APP-selective BACE inhibitors. We can do better with each one of these, but we're at least at a point where we can begin to make a clinical difference.